Oklahoma where the winds come, sweeping down the plains, whistles blow away your kingdom. Noise from the Sooner State, feel it in your eardrum. Way past the beginning and we are nowhere near done. My goodness, I'm nice with it. You can snap back, hold your hat, it's how I'm fitted. Getting fueled up off your hate as if I need it. Why it takes on eating lighter, people say I need it. You didn't know? When I hit the road, dog cities hear me spitting flows. Meanwhile, on tracks, I'm really not your typical spiritual, lyrical miracle, you imbecile. Going harder than a tombstone. Here lies in a method that never saw its doom, though. Joints instrumentally fired by IQ, yo. Rocking like a Lucifer track, but what do you know?
Forward and I can't go back.
Welcome all. This is the Outsiders Green Country Soccer Podcast. I'm Mario. How y'all doing? I actually got David and Josh 2 times in a row on with us tonight. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Hey buddy, how's it going?
Life.
Doing great.
It was a great day in the EFL, you know.
No, we're not going to talk about Premier League today. No, we'll talk about that in the weekend, something like that.
We're going to talk about the EFL, the Carabao Cup.
No one cares about that.
Middle week games don't matter in the Premier League. But,
Didn't even know we were playing today.
Yeah.
That's my excuse.
And neither did City.
Funny guy.
Right.
Funny guy.
Well, today's a special podcast, guys. We actually have Johan here with us tonight, goalkeeper for FC Tulsa. How you doing tonight, Johan?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me, and I really appreciate the invite for sure.
No problem. Oh, man, we really appreciate everything you've done. But first, before we get to the nitty-gritty and talk about FC Tulsa this season, I want to ask you, tomorrow is Halloween. Are you dressing up, or what kind of candy's your favorite? And let us know.
Yeah, so, I have to dress up. I mean, I have to take my little siblings trick-or-treating, so I have to dress up. I'll be a dentist. My little siblings will be one is Ghostface. I don't know who that is, but he's really excited about it, a 12-year-old. He's Ghostface, and then the other 2 are Paw Patrol. So Sky and Chase from like this dog kid show. So yeah, I'll be trick-or-treating tomorrow. What's my favorite candy? I like Snickers. Snickers have always been my favorite. So if I get a couple of those while I'm trick-or-treating, I'll be very happy for sure.
I see Josh is prepared. He has a Snicker bar there.
I'm going trick-or-treating tomorrow too. Best believe I'm gonna be out there.
Oh, me too. Tonight, you actually are live from Miami, Florida. For people that don't know, is that where you're originally from or grew up at?
So my family, I'm from New York, Long Island, New York, but my family moved to Miami, Florida when I was 18, when I went to my freshman year of college at Pitt. So ever since then, my off seasons, I'm always here in Miami, Florida, and I do my off season here.
Awesome. That's great. I bet you're in better weather than us here in Tulsa. I know, like we said while we pre-recorded, we're actually in tornado warning right now, all the way till tomorrow, like at, what was it, 3 o'clock in the morning? But yeah, I bet your weather over there is a lot better.
Yeah, I can't complain about Miami weather, especially when, you know, I'm from New York, so it's a much better having off season here than over there. So
I don't blame you. Well, before we skip, David, Josh, do y'all want to start off real quick and ask any questions? Some fun questions first, please.
Fun questions?
Oh, yeah.
I guess you can consider this. What's been your favorite memory of your short stint of Tulsa? Oh my gosh, what has been your favorite memory so far of being in Tulsa?
My favorite memory so far was, one of my first games that I was starting. I was able to, play the drums after. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't ask for it. And sort of the team, the head coach and the captain sort of just pulled me in and allowed me to do that so early on in my role with the team. So that was a very nice experience that, I'm very grateful for and aware of that didn't need to happen that ended up happening. So that was one of my favorites for sure. Performance-wise, the player of the month is always nice, right? Like going through that stint of games with that group was definitely a nice period for me to have. in a quick amount of time. So
There you go. You became a leader pretty quickly in the locker room, it seems. Gained a lot of respect really fast, which
yeah. I mean, that's it's something that I honor and really, I really enjoyed. I've always wanted to have that role in the team, and thankfully I was able to, show that, and thankfully the guys were able to, grasp it and allow me to have that role in the team. So no, I'm excited for sure. So
man, you did a hell of a job. I took your opportunity and ran with it.
yeah, that's sort of been like ever since, even in my youth career. Like I have always come in as a second string and, waited for my chance and waited for an opportunity. And thankfully, it's went well whenever the opportunity does present itself. So I'm glad everything, went the way it went, and you need a team in front of you so that can happen as well. So
Well, there you go. That's all I've got so far. Mariano?
David, go ahead, buddy.
I think he's muted. He's probably busy. You might have to go. Mariano?
No problem. So, being here in Tulsa, what's like your favorite little go-to spot that you like to go to?
grocery spot?
Like, no, go-to. Like, where?
Go-to spot? Let me see. I'm a pretty big fan of, in terms of like a nightlife spot. I like Sidecar. Sidecar's a nice bar that I've been enjoying, at least. Whenever I do decide to go out, for sure, that's like my type of vibe. In terms of food, I enjoy all kinds of food, right? I just do a good job of restricting myself. So for me, which restaurant was it? Quite honestly, it hasn't even been a restaurant. It's honestly, Michael Creek's a really good cook. I don't know if you guys know or not. Another goalkeeper from FC Tulsa, he's a phenomenal cook. So whenever I could eat some of Michael Creek's food, I will gladly go there instead. So Creek's apartment has been like a great resource for food for me. So
I guess is he Michael Creek the team cook pretty much? Is what you're saying?
he's not the team cook, but everyone knows how talented he is at cooking. Yeah, he's a serious cook. Serious.
Right, yeah, I think there was another player that told me that. I don't remember who it was.
I think every player on that team would have vouched and said, if you asked them, is Creek a good cook? They all would have said, yeah.
Team cook right there. Goalkeeper and team cook.
He is a phenomenal cook. In terms of restaurants, I'm not really, because I'm not much of like a go out eater. So there's not really a go-to spot for me that I consistently go to. So
have you been to Mother Road Market? It's a really good place.
Definitely not. No, I've never heard of it. So
it's a pretty good place.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of little restaurants all mixed in together. It's a pretty nice place.
Okay.
David, are you back?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah.
What's that? What type of food is it?
It's actually like a food court and also little mini shops in and out. They got like a taco shop. They got a sub, like an old school Sabaros, little pizzeria place.
Anything you could ask for, really.
Yeah, and they have their own little homemade root beers. It's a nice little hangout spot too.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, next time you're ever in town or something like that, man, you need to check that out. What other attractions in Tulsa, like not just food or nothing like that, but something that is like pretty cool that you got to go see, like sightsee? I know you guys gone to Black Wall Street a lot, but any other attractions in Tulsa that you like to go to?
The Gathering Place.
Okay.
The Gathering Place has been like a nice spot for me just to go walk around and sort of have a nice off day for sure. So that's been a pretty nice place I've been to a good amount of time since I've been here. So
that's cool. Well, David, are you back on?
Yeah. So, were you here for preseason, Johan?
Yes, yeah, I was. I was here for about a month and a week in preseason.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
did we lose him?
David, you still there?
Guess we lost him.
That's okay. I'll ask.
Storms are getting to him.
I hope not. Well,
as well.
Yeah. So back to the questions. So this season, you actually came in. I think it was like, what was that? Was it April or May when you came in? June. Excuse me, June. And I know you came in, and I know they had Michael Creek as goalie. They also had Joey on as goalie. How was that like stepping into a role when I think was it Joey that got injured? Or was it Michael Creek that got injured?
They were both injured at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to David's question, I was here during preseason. I was with both Joey and Creek as the team was looking to sign a third-string keeper. I was with the team for about a month and a week, and they were very interested. Mario, coaching staff, the players, I just felt like everything was right in terms of the relationships and, you know, how it should be as a professional soccer player. So, you know, I really enjoyed that, and unfortunately it just didn't work out at that time. So I'm fast forward 3 or 4 months. You know, I'm playing USL League 2 now back here in Miami. I'm able to play 3 or 4 games, and Mario gives me a call on Sunday. It was before that San Antonio game. I think that was June 4th, June 3rd, something like that. And he said, hey, you know, I'd love to bring you aboard. Joey just got hurt. So we'd sign you to a 30-day contract, and you would be Creek's backup. And I said, yeah, for sure. Like, I was just looking for a professional environment at that point and looking to take any opportunity I could. And then, yes, unfortunately, Creek played that first game in San Antonio, and he suffered a concussion, and that's sort of how it happened. But, yeah, Creek and Joey both ended up getting hurt at one point when I signed aboard.
And you got to start that Miami game, and I think that Miami game was over there in Miami, wasn't it?
It was in Tulsa. It was in Tulsa. We won.
I got this backwards. Yes, in Tulsa, and that game we actually won 2-1. But so I'm coming back here for Tulsa. How, like, I know you played League 2 matches. I know you played a little bit for Northern Colorado Storm. Is that correct?
Yeah, Hailstorm. And how did you see like the differences between playing in League 1 and the championship? So that was definitely a question that, you know, I wanted to know as a player too, right? Trying to, you know, jump the pyramid of U.S. soccer and, you know, having goals of one day reaching a first division level. So for me, I think there's definitely a bit more athleticism in championship. There's a lot more athletic guys on each roster. And definitely, I think, you know, some teams do have more quality on the ball and can hurt you a lot more. So, but it's not to say that League One's quality and athleticism isn't good, because I think it's also good. I think there's a gap, but it's not as big as a gap as people think. But it's definitely, there is a jump for sure. I mean, that's why they are a higher level.
Yeah. But fortunately for you, you also came to a team that had a couple ex-Hailstorm players. You know, you had Arthur Rogers. He was a player when you were playing. Is that correct? With the Hailstorm?
Yeah. Arthur was, the guy.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. Wish we got to see him a little bit more in the season, but it is what it is. But I'm glad that he's a lot healthier now.
100%.
But gotta ask you, what was your favorite game of all season long that you liked? Sorry to put you in the spot like that.
Yeah, no, it's not really putting me on the spot. I mean, I think a really important game for the group was that San Antonio away game that we had, that it was 3-1, and at that point we were jumping up in the table. I think that was a really important game for the group. Like, at that moment where we were at, it was already, you know, I think 3 clean sheets in 4 games. Now you're going away to San Antonio. you're going in with a lot of confidence, and you've never won there, and how does that feel like? But for sure, I think that game was a really enjoyable game. I think everyone could say in the group, how the performance went. We went down early, and then we just, everyone was calm and collected, and we came back, won the game 3-1, came back with 3 points. So I think that was like a really good moment for that group that was there at that point in terms of individuals and collectively. I think that was a really good moment that I really enjoyed, at least.
Yeah, that was actually a great game. That's the game that Lazo scored that golazo from a set piece.
Yes,
that touched it, and I think that's like the best goal of the season.
That was a great.
Yeah, but speaking of goals, what was your favorite stop or like favorite game that you had like a memorable stop that you did that was like in your memory right now for the season?
This year, I did, for me also, like, I think it does really come down to the Miami game as well for me. Like, making that save at the end with, I think, like 30 seconds left. I still didn't have the rhythm that I needed, right? Like, it was my first game at that level and sort of catching up to speed and everything like that. I think that sort of allowed me to, for Coach Mario to then, give him at least enough confidence to put me in the next game. So that first save, I think that was really the save that allowed me to, get another game and then another game and then another game and continuing to build that relationship with a head coach of confidence and consistency. So that save at the end, it's like a weird cross that sort of ends up somewhere between Bradley and me, and it's one of those confusing balls where as a keeper you can't really come out for, but you sort of make the striker make a decision and try and beat you, and thankfully I was able to make that save, and I think that was a pretty impactful save looking back at it now.
For me, my favorite game that you ever played, like that I think the team ever played, to be honest, but I know you had plenty of stops and you had a penalty stop, was the Detroit game. I think we scored by his first game. I think it was B-Boot, and he had like I'm not even sure how he got that ball to bounce right over that other player, but I think it was also Lazo got a red card that game, and I know you guys were playing a man down.
Harvey St. Clair did.
Harvey did, yes. Harvey, yes. I'm thinking of another game. But yeah, Harvey got sent out, and I think you guys played like a man down for like, I want to say a good 55 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah.
And like, I know you had a penalty stop on that game as well, and I know they were doing a lot of shots on you, and you kept them out, and we left out of Detroit, still undefeated against them. But you kept a clean sheet that game, and for us, for us fans, we love that, and that you gave everything that you've done for this club. But that game for me was memorable. What about you, Josh? Do you have any, or David, are you on?
I think my favorite game is the San Antonio game, where we won 2-1. It was the home game. Checo scored twice. That was my favorite game of the season, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Creek
was a fun game.
Creek was in that.
Creek was in the goal?
Creek was in the yeah.
That's okay. That was a great game. That was my first game even, being on a roster in USL Championship. So for me that's, that was a big enough honor and, game to be a part of.
That was the game that made me think we were going to make the playoffs, where I started to believe.
All right.
That's all right. We'll get them. We'll get them next year. What about you, David? Do you have any questions or anything like that, bud?
So, Johan, going back to your time in northern Colorado, how was your experience there in Colorado? I know they've had some rumors of instability this season, but how was your experience there in Colorado?
I can only speak fondly of a startup organization, right? Like I think people who aren't in that locker room or in that any organization starting up in the USL don't really, at times give it enough time to develop and blossom, right?
Yep.
So that first year, there's a lot of ups and downs, as I think any company in any sort of field experiences, right? So I think a lot of us that first year were doing our best to, establish a culture, right? And then maintain professionalism with the lack of resources or understanding of resources that a team needs to win. So that first year, thankfully I came in as a second string again, and I was able to, start games and ended up taking that starting job. We didn't make playoffs that year either, right? So coming back the second year, now you give the club a little more time to understand what the team will need. You gave the core group of guys time to play with each other and understand what the system is going to look like under a new head coach. That's when the team took off, really. The coach recruited well, and from there, Colorado, even this year when they were a little unstable in the beginning, right, with key guys leaving, they're back in the playoffs second in the whole league. So that's only a credit. I can only speak highly of everyone there and my time there. I had great teammates. I had goalkeeper coaches, head coach, assistant coaches who cared a lot and, did impact me. So I can only speak good things about that. I don't have any bad things to say about Colorado and my time there.
You got to play with Owen there in Colorado, didn't you?
Yeah, I got to play with a younger Owen my first year. Yeah, he was much young. Much younger. Now he's a lot more mature, and I think, from playing with him as his keeper behind him, you could tell, what experience does to a player. And I think anyone who watched our games this year could see, he was pretty consistent throughout. Like, you knew what you were getting from him, and that's what you want as a player next to him and, as a fan, I would hope.
How was it playing with the back line this year? It was a pretty consistent. We ran the same back line out pretty consistently this year, unlike previous years.
Yeah, I mean, it was a back line that I had a lot of fun playing with. I think because, it's always interesting when a new goalkeeper comes in the middle of the, at any point in the season, but especially, right, like how will center backs react, right? Because that's the relationship, really, right? Like for my voice to get out to the midfielders and sort of what I'm seeing and how can we problem solve and organize and stick to the game plan, it has to come me through the center backs and through the fullbacks. So I really enjoyed playing with Bradley Bourgeois and Alexi Sawahi, Harvey St. Clair, Patrick, Owen Dam, and then Arthur at the end. Like the two center backs, Rashid as well. Just a lot of problem solvers there who are also very athletic. So it did help me a lot in terms of being able to, all right, I know they're going to be able to cover this amount of ground. This is probably where I have to make a play. This is where they're deficient at. This is where I'll have to do a little more in terms of what I feel comfortable with. And that's how we sort of organized. When we went on that run, it just, I think it was, 6 clean sheets in 8 games or something like that, right? That's really hard to do, right? And then look at the rest of the season. We only got 1 in, 12 games. It's just tough. So when you go through those moments at the back line, and you just have a lot of confidence and all these things. So I had a really good time playing with those guys, mainly because they were all problem solvers too. I wasn't the only one looking around and trying to figure things out. I had a whole group of guys trying to. So
awesome. Hey, I got a little bit of a hot question for you. Question, but what do you think was a bigger turning point in the season? Losing Edwin Lazo to injury or losing Goodrum to Louisville?
For me, it would be me being completely truthful with you guys, to give you guys that respect. To me, it was losing Edwin. I think Edwin, his athleticism and what he brings on the ball, I think it's really hard to match that, even if you look at every team that made playoffs. You would have to point out, you you would have to point out, you would have, for me, and I love watching USL. I mainly watch USL. Maybe, you know, Aaron Malloy, right? Like, it would have to be that echelon of guys to tell me Edwin isn't. That's how important I do view Edwin in our midfield this year. What he brings in terms of winning aerial duels, in terms of if he's doing well on the ball, it's going to be great for us, right? Because he could dictate play very well. And then his athleticism. So for me, it's that. But of course, like, losing Phil, right, is a big, like, that's anytime you lose a big nine, any team loses a big nine, of course, there's a void to fill, right? But I think Edwin was a huge piece of, you know, maybe why we had some rough results towards the end of the season.
I totally agree. Edwin was, I'm not saying the guys didn't do a good job replacing him, but he was almost, you know, one of those people that you couldn't replace, was just with his defensive tenacity and what he brought out there on the field. So, you know, me and the guys, we got to see the warm-ups all there because we're all down there before the game. My question is, who would kick it harder, Aaron Beboot or Joey? Because we saw Joey would hit some rockets.
So for my warm-up, and credit to Joey, I've told he has a cannon, right? Like, yeah, I've always told him that since preseason. I was able to try, like, no, like, you have, because it's just, you know, it's easy to get power when you're, you know, running up to it 4 or 5 steps. Joey takes 1 or 2 steps and the ball is being launched, right? So, and in my warm-up, I tell him, you guys can score on me. Like, I don't care if you guys score on me in my warm-up. I just want to see, you know, I want shots that are going to test me. Like, that's all that matters to me during my warm-up. But yeah, Joey definitely, I mean, some goalkeepers do have cannons as well, but like Joey definitely shoots the ball hard. He definitely shoots the ball hard. Bibu also has a really good shot on him. But you expect a 9 to have that trait, right? Especially where Bibu's at. But Joey kicks the ball pretty hard, and he doesn't mean to at times.
We sometimes before the game, we kind of have a little running joke. Is like, let's see who can kick the ball harder. Is it Joey or Lazo?
And Edwin kicks the ball pretty hard.
Yeah.
Edwin actually, he has that natural, you know, South American ability to strike the ball like that. So yeah, you don't know where it's going sometimes, but just know, you know, he does. He definitely, if he connects on it right, I mean, it's gonna be a tough ball to hold, at least. Too.
Yeah, we prepare ourselves. We might be pre-game and drinking and stuff like that, but when you guys start saying, "Hey, watch for balls," that's when we're like, "Okay, let's start covering some faces," because some of these guys can kick really hard, and we're not our young selves anymore.
Every time a ball goes over in my warm-up, I always raise my hand and say sorry. I mean, you know, I get it, but it's also a part of it, right? If you're going to go to an event like what we do. So,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why they stick us crazies behind the goal. But, well, David, do you have some more questions, bud?
No, you go ahead for a bit.
All right, awesome. So, so this year, we didn't make the playoffs, unfortunately. We were ahead in the beginning of the season. I kind of felt that we had a couple games in hand in the beginning of the game, and I feel like we didn't reach it because, or take advantage of those, because we were still building chemistry. We're still putting a lot of players that were interchangeable, and I think coach was still finding his right chemistry on the field and stuff like that. As being a new goalie for the team at the time, did you find the chemistry to be a little bit hard at first, or do you think it was just the league being a little bit more difficult than normal?
So, my experience this year, I think there was definitely times where, you know, you have a new head coach and you have, you know, the club, to my understanding, preseason, we're, you know, getting rid of a lot of players, bringing in new guys, sort of trying to see which pieces fit. That's a part of a new coaching staff coming in, and a new system. ideology of how you see your team playing. So for sure, I think, at times you do need to give, a group of guys time to work and win, right? And figure things out, right? But, unfortunately, and we don't run away from it. No one in that locker room ran away from the fact that our goal was to make playoffs. Like, we made that clear, right? And we were, as you said, at one point in the season, we were in a great spot with games in hand. We were all very excited, but also working very diligently and really hard to, accomplish that. And then, we just felt like, some, like you said, like certain guys not, getting hurt maybe at the wrong time and things like that did throw off the group's chemistry. I could say it's not an excuse, but it is the realistic things that come with the sport we play, right? Other guys need to step up. Other guys do need to perform. And unfortunately, as a group, we couldn't find that rhythm, more so towards the end of the season, where we really need to find a good rhythm heading into playoffs and, things like that. So.
Yeah. Well, David, you got some more questions, bud? David?
Swing it over to Josh for a minute.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I'm good on questions.
Okay. Right now, I'm not sure if you see the background of Josh's, but he has your jersey back there.
I do see him. He waited a long time because I do my best to.
Popular guy.
After every game, I do, I think it's important to give back to the people who do show up to the stadium, because that's a huge part of, us able to feel the energy in the stadium, and it gives you an advantage, or, some USL teams, it gives you a disadvantage. Right. But for me, I've always wanted to be in this position. I've always wanted to work my way up and, be in the spot that I was at this year. So I think it's always important to stay after and give back, sign autographs, take pictures, whatever. I've always thought it's important for the team to have a good relationship with the community. And I think that's what, under Coach Mario, the team has been doing really well. Like, we've been doing a great job of not separating ourselves, even though our results didn't go our way. We've been doing a good job of continuing to do community service and, impact the community, stay after, talk to you guys, talk to the fans, right? Go to meetings, to my understanding. I think all that's important, right? You guys, you guys should want the team to win. We want to win, and that's sort of how this relationship is based off of. So, for sure. Now, he waited the whole time. I think it was the last game of the season, so I took, a pretty long time signing autographs. There's a lot of kids, than usual. So, thankfully, I was able to give him an extra jersey. So,
that's awesome.
Thank you for it.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
One question I did want to ask you, because we're talking about other teams, like ambiance and their game day and stuff like that. I got to ask you, what was your favorite stadium that you've gone to this season?
So, now that you reminded me, one of my favorite games and favorite stadiums, just because of the away factor, was Detroit. Like, something about Detroit. So, I also, before USL League One, I started my professional career in second division Costa Rica, right? So, for anyone who doesn't know, Central America, very, not poor, but not the U.S., right? Like, it's very different in resources, and it's not as professional in terms of what the product looks like, right? The performance, the player, the quality, the fields are all very different. Very different than what someone would expect. Very high level, I would say. Not MLS, but high level football. Detroit gave me that feeling. That away locker room, it was an ugly locker room. It was a brick walls. I'm talking toilets didn't even work. It was very condensed. There was no space. Then the way their stadium is set up, which I think is a great idea for more teams in USL, League One or Championship to follow. The stadium, there was no space from out to throw in corner kick to goal kicks, like there's no space in between. So everyone feels right on top of you. So I think that night they had around 7,500, 8,000, 3,000, something like that. But it felt like there was a lot more people there just because of how condensed everything was. When maybe, you know, sometimes San Antonio was a fantastic stadium. Like I'm talking beautiful cut grass, like no changes and bounces on the ball. San Antonio, just in terms of field quality, Phoenix was a beautiful stadium as well, field quality. Detroit, their turf is a little, you know, ugly, but it sort of fits. It fits like, you know, what you'd expect an away game at Detroit to feel like. So that was that, you know, for me, my favorite stadiums to play at were Phoenix and San Antonio. The grass was great. Stadium was great. Locker rooms were great. And then you go, you know, the opposite of somewhere like Detroit where it's turf. It's a little cold. It's a terrible locker room. Like fans, you know, are right there making fun of you every time. And it's, you know, it was a great experience for sure.
That's awesome. I think I stole Harry's question. He's a San Antonio guy, and he asked the similar question that I just asked. So, Harry, I hope you enjoyed that question answered as well. We have no love-hate relationship with Detroit, so give him all the bash you want to give him. So it's fine with us. David, do you have some more questions, bud?
So, I'm just going to go along with your statement. I feel like if we could kick the drillers out of our stadium and just make it a solely soccer-specific stadium, fix the turf the way it should be, just the downtown view we have would make it just an awesome downtown stadium.
I love our stadium. Too bad it's baseball.
Yeah.
Maybe in a couple of years we have a downtown stadium behind home.
Maybe. Who knows?
Going on, so we can't be speculating too much there.
Yeah, that's out of my pay grade to stay on a stadium, or you know, all I know is at the end of the year the stadium, the grass, it was a lot better. So
oh yeah.
The rest.
Do you like playing in a baseball stadium?
I don't think anyone likes it, but in USL Championship and League One right now, you do have to be able to perform on that. A lot of stadiums are like that. Even if we were to change ours, that doesn't, you know, you still go play Memphis on a baseball stadium. You still go play New Mexico on a baseball stadium, El Paso on a baseball stadium. So you do have to, you know, be able to just forget about that and be able to play through that. But yes, I do think if the league wants to take the next step in terms of quality, seriousness, all these things, I think everyone having a soccer-specific stadium would be the next step. One of the next steps. Of course, there's little things as well for us players, but I think in terms of like a product, I think it would be the fields.
Totally.
What is worse? What is worse, playing in a baseball stadium or an American football stadium, kind of like what Rhode Island plays on?
So Rhode Island's was not bad because they didn't have, or I think, if I remember properly, I don't think they had the yard lines, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was just yes. So that's what I'd say. Like if you're playing on a stadium with yard lines and other lines, that does bother me. Like I wouldn't tell my team, but being completely open and honest, like it would bother me. But a baseball stadium is doable. Like New Mexico is a nice baseball stadium. Even in League One, Omaha is a nice baseball stadium. Like there are some nice baseball stadiums. But yeah, if it has yard lines, I am firmly against it. I'll still play, but I'm firmly against it. The rest I could manage and deal. It doesn't matter.
I was watching that last Rhode Island game of the season, and it was just painful to watch because of the yard markers and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't be worse than what Oakland used to have. Their striped field. Can't be worse than that.
Hey, that's got history in Oklahoma, so we.
It does. It does.
So you got to settle this for us, Johan. Was Oakland's field that bad looking, or is it a TV viewer kind of problem? Because it had different stripes, and I know you watched multiple USL games. This is what I'm asking you. And I think you've watched Oakland games on there. Is their field? Does it look that bad, or is it not?
Yeah, Oakland's field is one of the worst I've played on. Yeah, so it's not. I don't think it's a TV. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
field,
but
That was a
field itself,
Okay.
it's a tough turf to get adjusted to. Just in terms of a warm up and then being able to play, it's hot. The turf itself, it's not the best. I'll put it like that. So no, I don't think it was your eye. No.
Well, no problem.
So, what's your honest thoughts about the atmosphere at One Oak?
Okay.
You can be as honest as you want.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, like, it's not being completely honest. I actually enjoy very much playing at home, although our record sort of says otherwise as a team. We definitely want to. One of our goals next year is to improve that. For me, I think it's good, but I think it is, like I said, like it is a little far away. So as a player, maybe sometimes if it's not the supporter section and a little bit on the right of you guys, everything does feel like a little far away. So other than that, I think it's great. Like in terms of the way the marketing team is marketing the team, there's commercials, there's advertisements, there's supporter section meetings, there $1 beer night, this event. I think it's good, right? I think the next piece to then increasing the numbers, I think the numbers came out a couple of days ago. I think we averaged around like 3,400 fans a game, or throughout the season, that was sort of what it looked like. I think the next step to increasing that and packing it out more really comes from us, and it comes from winning, right? Like people want to be in an environment that wins, that people want to see that important games, right? That San Antonio 2-1 win. Other games that we've had at home, if you win and people go back home, kids go back home, visualizing that and having that feeling, they're going to want to come back, right? So I actually enjoy playing at One Oak. Like I think, if it's not the field at times, right? Like you guys have seen me, you guys are right behind me. So you guys have seen me fix the field multiple times in my warm up and stuff like that. But in terms of a fan base and environment, I think you could always improve in USL, but I think that piece also comes from, a team having to win and bringing results at home and making people go home with that nostalgia feeling. So I enjoy One Oak. My experience at One Oak has been good.
Cool.
There you go.
Go ahead, David.
Well, our experience of having you at One Oak has been good. I mean, we've had multiple conversations like, who's your Mount Rushmore of goalkeeping in Tulsa? And you're right there at the top, buddy. We appreciate everything you did this last season. The multiple PK saves, clean sheets. We fell a little bit short in our expectations for the season, but we definitely see with the coaching staff coming in late, and hopefully they're going to stick around for the next year. The pieces are being put together correctly for a successful 2025.
And who, if you don't mind me asking now, who else is on that Mount Rushmore?
Well, there's of goalkeeping. There's definitely Fabian Serta, our all-time leader in clean sheets. I think he's got like 12, 13. Sean Lewis is up there. He was a couple seasons before you. Yeah, and I know Mario likes Zach Lubin. Zach Lubin was there.
He was the reason I liked him. He was our first goalkeeper. He also went to Phoenix and played. He played with them for a little bit. But,
Zach Lubin played for FC Tulsa.
Yes, he did. His first season. I think it was our. Was it our first season?
It was our first season.
Yeah, back in 2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then probably Austin Austin Warmel would be there too, just because he's a hometown local kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Zach was a big part of me, staying as consistent as I was when I didn't have a team. Like, he was also my goalkeeper coach in Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado.
Obviously,
yeah.
I knew about his Phoenix career, right? Because he was one of the best keepers in the league at that point. But I never knew he played for Tulsa, and I'm very close to him. So that'll be funny when I speak to him about that.
I think he was only here for a year or two, maybe.
No, he was
here. Yeah, he was here for the first year here.
Yeah. Oh, he's a good guy. He didn't like us after Phoenix because.
Yeah.
But that's a different story for another day.
He's called us some names when he plays against us.
Just you.
Yeah, he's
me?
he's a very crazy guy. So, and that's a part of his personality. So.
No, he's good. He's good. But
and David, I appreciate that very much. Like, for the families to say that, it means a lot to me. It really does. Because of course I want. I think any person in any field wants, that approval from, your peers, the people you're working with, coaches, family, whatever the case may be. But, from the guys supporting us financially and always there for the team through good and bad, I think is also as important. So I appreciate that very much. So.
But us as a group, we are actually Manuel Brigade. We kind of had a little vote, and you are kind of our MVP of the season. I mean, you've been in this. You played for 22 games. I mean, if you would have played all 34 games, I think the record would be a lot different. And we have high hopes for you. Hopefully, that you can come next season, and we can't wait to see you back in the sticks and saving as many shots as you have been. Really appreciate everything you've done as a goalkeeper, and also a great guy before and after the games as well. So hope we get to have you back here next season. And really appreciate you being on it. Hey, Josh, do you have any other words to say before?
I'm good.
You're good? What about you, David?
I'm good, boss.
Awesome. Well, Johan, thank you so much for being on tonight. Do you have any final words for us Tulsa fans? What are you going to be doing this off season, or like that?
Yeah. So this off season, I played a lot of games in very 3.5 months, 4 months. So I'll definitely just be enjoying time with my siblings for probably the next 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. So that's around like November 18th that I'll come back to training and sort of hoping I'm missing soccer, right? And have that feeling again of coming back. Me coming back to Tulsa or not, I think, right now the club doesn't want any player to speak on it. So, I'll just say this, like, I'd really love to come back with my experience and with where I see the team going. I think everyone feels that right now, that Tulsa is going to be in a really good place, whether that's 2025, 2026. So, I think there is a lot of belief in Mario Sanchez and the project he's building and sort of how he's building it. And I think that's very reasonable and truthful, I think. I have nothing but great experiences about Tulsa. So, but like I said, I'll let the club announce, certain things. So, but for sure, I just want to say thank you guys. My perspective, like, I think any player wants to win, right? You don't play just to earn a paycheck. Like, it's not really the way this goes when you're a professional athlete. So, this team, we want to win. This season, we want to win. We wanted to win, and for the upcoming future. I mean, that's the basis, right? And I know you as a fan base also have to have those expectations, right? And then we both meet. So That's all I can say. I mean, thank you guys for showing up to every game, even when we knew we weren't making playoffs. That's very kind of you guys. I've been in other situations. Like I said, I played in Costa Rica a year. Thankfully, it went well, but I saw other cases of, different fan bases outside of America, handle their team not making playoffs very differently. And I think everyone can say on the team, everyone in that locker room organization can say how great of a fan base we have. And we just want to see the number increase, every year, every game, and just more and more support, So we want to say thank you guys very much for the support we had. And, I'm hoping, to see you guys again at One Oak. So relatively soon, hopefully the club will announce things. So.
We can't wait. We can't wait. Well, thank you so much, Johan, for being on, man. Enjoy some South Florida weather for me. I'll be out there shortly. And don't eat too much candy tomorrow with your siblings and stuff like that. But, man, thank you so much. And have a good night, man.
Hey, no problem. Josh, David, thank you guys very much. Mario, thank you guys very much for having me. And,
Thanks for being on.
I think we'll talk again later this week when some things get announced. So, I'll see you guys then. All right.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
No problem. Thank you guys very much.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Man.
That was pretty cool. Thanks for Johan for being on. That was really great of him.
Well-spoken guy. Really well-spoken.
Yeah, I know over there in Florida it's like right now 9:51. So for him to be on here with us, that's I'd probably be asleep by now if it wasn't for this podcast.
You're old. He's young.
Oh gosh. But yeah, to be honest, South Florida, their time to go to sleep is like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I understand it. Well, I guess David, you want to talk about this last game?
Yeah, Manchester United beat.
Oh God, here we go.
Kick this guy off. Kick him off.
All right. Yeah, EFL baby, EFL.
We got an important game to talk about this Sunday, but this isn't Premier League talk. This is FC Tulsa talk.
Strictly FC Tulsa.
You're gonna pick on a team without a coach right now. Come on.
Oh, here we go.
Do you think that was the right move, firing Ten Hag?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw a few fans think it was the wrong move.
There was no joy in the team for the last 4 months. So, I mean, that's one thing. You got to have joy in the team or it's not going to work. If guys are feeling like they're just going there and doing a job, it's not going to work.
Collecting a paycheck.
Just like Josh.
I don't get paid to do this.
Well,
Anyway, so yeah, we played who did we play? Monterey Bay last Sunday. We won it 2-1. Goals by Alexis Sawahi and Andrew Booth. Monterey Bay got a penalty on a pretty suspect handball. But that was par for the course for FC Tulsa this year. We got a lot of penalties this year. Johan saved most of them, so that's always a great thing. Guys played with a lot of energy, and they wanted to win that game, I believe. I mean, that was one of those. No parking the bus, all energy forward.
Finally, didn't park the bus, and look what happens.
It's because we had a beautiful chant going on.
To be honest,
Coach heard us.
We never start the game with us parking the bus at first.
No, it's only if we score early on, we park the bus.
But it was great to see Alex Leroux start from the beginning. The lineup, I loved it. It was a great lineup. The team was attacking. There's times that you can see Bradley Bourgeois going up top or Alexis Suahi going down.
Owen should have had 2 goals.
Oh my God, yeah, Owen.
Should have.
I don't know if it was us switching the field and them starting on the opposite side or what, but it was just
That first 20 minutes was the best I think we've ever looked all season.
But to be honest, for me it feels like every 20 minutes of the first game is us showing intensity, not as the last 10 minutes of the game, but It's the way coach does it, but we were doing pretty good. Well, David, do you want to talk any about that Monterey game?
What do you want to say? We won. Let's move on. I mean, that's
2025, here we come.
Yeah, let's put 2024 in the rearview mirror. We could talk another we can do another podcast that's just us and talk about highs and lows of the season. But I think it was a great game. The game was good. It was always positive to go out on top.
Good momentum started for next year.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just a fun game. I mean,
crowd was into it. Mariano was a little bit way into it. He had himself a fun game.
And who's he dressed up as?
He was dressed up as a Man United fan.
Yeah.
Did we get any pictures of that? Did we have?
Oh yeah, there's pictures. He's a Red Devil.
Yeah, no, he came out as a Red Devil fan on Saturday.
Came out of the closet as a Red Devil fan Saturday night. Yeah.
No. I think you guys are confusing somebody else.
No. We have picture proof.
Yeah, we got picture proof.
There's no such thing as pictures.
The whole night you were just saying how much you loved Man United.
Yeah. Just like you do. Well, what else you guys want to talk about?
Well, we got the playoffs coming up. USL playoffs. Season's not over with yet. Who do you guys think's gonna take it all this year?
Las Vegas Lights. Las Vegas. Actually, the final will be Las Vegas versus Louisville, but I think Louisville will end up winning. I don't see anybody beating them. Goodrum's going to score a hat trick in the championship game.
Goodrum with the Hattie. Yeah.
That
biggest upset around one. Who do you guys think's gonna be the biggest upset?
Does Mexico have a bye, don't they? Or does the US
no.
do that?
That's actually my upset.
Yeah,
I think
Phoenix.
They take on Phoenix. I think Phoenix is going to get them.
I'm surprised the USL doesn't do buys. There's just not enough teams to do that.
No, it's 16 teams in the playoffs. So it's 8 from each conference. So
I thought they had a buy, but yeah, I think New Mexico. I just hope New Mexico. Not New Mexico. I hope Phoenix doesn't go on another insanity run and end up winning it all again.
Definitely could. Definitely could. But
now, guys, you want to hear and this is out there, and please don't ridicule me for this one, but North Carolina beating Louisville, that would be an epic match right there.
I just don't see anybody beating them.
Mariano playing to the Rodrigo da Costa gods.
No.
I am wearing the Mariano da Costa shirt right now. So yeah.
I've said that on voice, not picture.
all signs point to North Carolina.
It's an omen. It's an omen.
I just don't see anybody beating them. They're far and beyond the best team in the league.
What's a matchup that you guys think is going to be like? We saw this coming, but it was an intense match. For me, that would be Memphis, Orange County. I have a feeling Orange County is going to sweep the floor with Memphis.
Where's that game being played at? Memphis?
I think that game is at Memphis. Yeah.
Well, Memphis should
mine's Sacramento beating Las Vegas, I think.
Man. What did Vegas end up getting the second
seed? Yeah. No,
maybe they'll actually get a good crowd.
Third seed, maybe?
No, I think no, wait, Las Vegas?
Yeah, they got second seed, right? Or is Sacramento second seed?
Sacramento's second seed.
No.
Because New Mexico, here, I'll look it up. Right?
Man, the storms are going crazy outside right now.
Las Vegas got the 4 seed.
Yeah.
4 seed. Oh.
Sacramento 5th.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Phoenix
I think Vegas
is going to be upset.
All the way.
Upset weekend. Phoenix over New Mexico.
I hope that happens.
Sacramento over Las Vegas.
I hope the first one happens. I hope the second one doesn't happen. I'd like to see Vegas go all the way.
You know
Rhode Island score 2.
You guys want to know what's crazy about this?
I think Rhode Island will surprise a lot of people.
Cool. So you know what? I've been looking at the table fixtures, and Indy 11 is the only team that has negative goal differential from everybody that made the playoffs. They have a negative 1 goal, and everybody
In the
else
East.
in the East. And
Yeah.
then Orange County has -7, and they're top 6. If they
Phoenix is
would have been in
3-6. Yeah.
if they would have been in the Eastern Conference, they wouldn't even make the playoffs. Is it a big shift this year for the East to be getting a lot more points than the West, or?
Well, everybody basically got 2 free wins in the East. Got to remember that.
Are we talking about a certain team in Miami?
Yeah, I mean, just
That
a
is easy. As easy as it gets.
a total of 5 draws / wins. So I mean, everybody in the East pretty much got 2 W's.
Also, what was the biggest surprise of the last game of the season? The biggest shocker, not surprise, but
I have no idea. I didn't pay attention to any games. I haven't really paid much attention to the USL.
Birmingham not making playoffs.
That is a surprise.
And
I feel like you always should put money on them making playoffs.
Rhode Island putting up an 8.
8-1.
Granted, it was against Miami.
Right.
Oakland putting up a 5 spot on Birmingham. No, who did?
Yeah, them getting 5 goals on them.
Yeah.
How many points did Louisville end with? Is that some kind of record? Was it 76?
Yeah, 76.
Yeah.
Is that a record? USL record?
Here's the thing. Louisville had a plus 43 goal differential. I don't think we scored 43 goals this year.
I don't think they needed Goodrum. They should just let us keep him. Don't think they needed him. Really? I'm pretty sure. Does he start? He's consistently coming off the bench, isn't he?
He's consistently coming off the bench, yeah. And
they didn't need him.
I think he had a goal or 2 in that game. It won, I think, that game. The last game of the year.
I don't think they needed him. They could have let us keep him.
Yeah. I'm get Mariano riled up. Let's.
I'm good. I'll enjoy his money. Appreciate it. Thank you, Louisville.
Yes. Do you know the fee of how much that was?
I haven't disclosed it yet, but it's up there. We've heard, but do you guys have any more FC Tulsa talk to do?
I'm excited for 2025.
I am too.
I missed it already.
David, do you have any local news to talk about?
Tulsa Athletic beat the FC Bartlesville Buffaloes like 4-0. I think they move on to the next round of the U.S. Open Cup qualifying. So congratulations to the Athletic.
Don't they get to play Little Rock Rangers for the next round cup?
I have no clue. I have not that invested in the qualifying rounds of the U.S. Open Cup, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to see that,
When does preseason start for us?
I want to say
tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Preseason games start in like February, beginning March.
Preseason started the day we got eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah.
Hey, at least Hartford didn't make it, so they didn't.
Don't kick them out there, man. Well, so we were talking about local. We talked about FC Tulsa. We're not talking about Premier League. So on some hot takes.
Hold on. So on November 16th, the Tulsa Athletic hosts Woodland Football Club. It's another Tulsa club.
Dang, how many Tulsa clubs are there?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of Woodland Football Club, but they host. They're at Hicks Park. So November 16th, Tulsa Athletic host Woodland Football Club. Do they play in the old Woodland Hills Mall? I don't know.
There's plenty of fields around there. I know that for sure. Well, also, speaking of Tulsa Athletic, I want to give a big shout out to Tim Hans. He had a newborn baby. I wish I had the name of the baby, but yeah, I think it's his new child. I think they had it on the day before yesterday, I want to say. But congratulations, Tim, and all your family as well. Hopefully, we'll get to talk to you here soon. But you guys have any more local talk or any more extra talk before we get some hot takes?
I'm good.
Go ahead.
All right, let's get to some hot takes. Josh, you want to start it off?
I have no hot takes tonight.
No hot
No,
takes.
you get it.
No hot takes.
Go,
I'll
Josh.
think of one.
Come on,
You guys go ahead. I'll think of
Go
one.
ahead, David.
So, we talked to Johan about our Mount Rushmore of goalkeepers. Who is on your FC Tulsa? We didn't talk about something FC Tulsa. We didn't. Before we start our hot takes, did you see Captain Bradley Bourgeois Instagram posts?
Yes, we have.
So it looked like after 6 seasons, Bradley will be either retiring or not coming back to Tulsa next year. So with all the love in our hearts, thank you, Bradley, for everything you've done for us for our 6 seasons, 3 playoff seasons you've been here. You'll forever be our captain. We thank you, Bradley. But all right, back to the hot take. Who's your 4 Mount Rushmore FC Tulsa players, Josh and Mario?
This is easy. Bradley,
Goalkeepers.
goalkeepers.
No, the whole team.
Okay.
Whole team.
Yeah, whole
Bradley,
team 4.
Kaffa, Sammy Ochoa.
Oh,
The fourth one. St. Brady.
great. Mario?
Man, I would have to go a little bit different on one, but of course, St. Brady, number 1. Number 2, Kaffa. Number 3, I'm Serta. And number 4, I would have to say Bradley Bourgeois.
Surprised you didn't put Dario up there.
That's if you would ask me 5, I would have.
Who did start? So mine is Bradley, Rodrigo, Kaffa, and Christian Mata. You know, yeah, the only guy to get a bobblehead. That's Joaquin. I got Joaquin.
Yeah. I knew it. I was waiting for it.
Me too.
I was waiting for it.
Me too.
But hey, Johan's getting there close. Give us another season or 2, Johan, and you'll be right there, buddy. All right, Mario, go.
All right, guys. So it's Premier League. Back to Premier League. I know I said no more, but this Sunday, big matchup. Some small club from Manchester will be playing FC Tulsa. Oh, no, FC Tulsa. I wish. Small club from Manchester will be playing Chelsea Football Club. What's your guys' predictions on that? Everybody but David.
It will be a 0-0 draw. Most boring game you've ever seen. Cole Palmer sucks. Man United sucks. Chelsea sucks. Nobody wants to watch that. Let's get real.
City will suck when they finally take away all their titles and bust them down to the 6th division of English football.
Oh, I don't know why you asked that question. All right, let's go to another better question. So, hot take. I think I've asked this question before with you guys, but who are 2 players that you want to see back for next fall and season? 2.
Andrew Booth.
Okay.
And Lazo.
Okay. David, what about you?
Johan and Alexi.
I'm not trying to copy you, but I'm the same way. Johan and also Alexi. All right. Josh, do you have any more?
This can be a hot take. Very, very early projection for FC Tulsa. next year? Where are we finishing? What place?
That we're gonna play.
Okay.
Unlike that team in the Eastern part of the state.
Who?
Yeah, Todd. Yep.
Hey, you missed it. He made an appearance earlier.
No, he made a.
He made it.
Well, they don't want to kill everybody off, but well, guys, thank y'all for everybody that got to listen. Thank you, Harry, for asking some good questions. Thank you, Angela, for posting a comment on there. Hopefully, we'll be talking here soon. Hopefully, get another player. I'm actually been interested in asking a new amateur indoor soccer team. See if I can get one of them on with us and talk about their new team. They're going to be having some trial runs for the season's coming up season. If you haven't heard from them, they're called the Tulsa Catfish.
Channel Cats.
Channel Cats.
There's Catfish.
I keep messing that name up.
I think they catfish you.
Yeah, but Channel Cats, and we're gonna have them on. Hopefully, I didn't ruin that for us. But
Catfish.
well, I appreciate everybody listening. Anybody that's hearing this after this live show, thank you for checking this podcast recording. Really appreciate it. Sorry you have to see Josh's Man City jersey.
What?
Man City jersey. Really appreciate it all. You're welcome, Angela. Thank y'all for listening. I appreciate it so much. Oh yes, the legend right there, Bird. But,
I heard he might resign. Come back.
Let's hope. But thank y'all for listening. Really appreciate it. And my favorite part, Vamos Tulsa.
Vamos Tulsa.
I caught the Glock, mama oldest acting like he grown. Now peep the logic. I got a heap of problems. A mathematician, you see, I gotta keep it honest. I'm past offensive. From my childhood, I force you to forfeit. Turn snitch or crossover, source work for corporate. The hardship is not marked for fake artists barking. The artsy astrologist, a start to your rocket ship. Soon as I change styles, the moment that y'all pocket it. In prophets' eyes, prophesize giant size dollar clips for blessings. There ain't no way contested for us outsiders charging 20 G's a session.
Forward and I can't go back. Lessons that I went through, put some questions on my mental. Forward and I can't go back. The stress that I've been through, I left that in the rear view. Forward and I can't go back. Lessons that I went through, put some questions on my mental. Forward and I can't go back. The stress that I've been through, I left that in the rear view.
Yeah, outsiders in the casa.